Yeah, this is Kush, writer, director, filmmaker. I want to say what up to Music Connection magazine. I came into the work by way of theater, and before the theater I was really involved with, or at least my aspirations were about politics. You know, I was planning on being a politician, congressman. So I guess it was all inspired by this being compelled to want to change or affect change in some positive kind of way. So politics led to the cultural work and the theater work, and that led to the film work. I guess that what makes me different is that I'm a man making stories that focus on women. And like in talking to me or seeing me, you wouldn't think that I do love stories about women. But I guess that's my focus, that's my interest. That's what excites and inspires me. So I guess off top, that's the one thing that makes me, I guess, what you would call different. But beyond that, I'm just, like the next kid out here trying to create something that means something, that says something artistically with this film medium, I'm still teaching at Howard. I teach at Howard now. And I mean, the class is called Acting for TV and Film. And the whole purpose is to help students who are theater majors transition from doing theater to film. So all this entailed in that in terms of giving them tools and the insights and giving them the practice on camera is what we do. And then I make it a point to focus on the business side as well, to try and acclimate them and help them with their transitions. I met Mr. Poitier about maybe 7 years ago, and I met him by way of another mentor named is Mr. Woodie King Jr. He's a producer of theater in New York. And since meeting Mr. Poitier, he's been really just, you can imagine it's Sidney Poitier, right? So, first of all, just his influence, his presence is like heavy, it's huge. But aside from that, he's talked to me intimately and candidly about a number of things, from the industry to my work as an artist, as a filmmaker, as an actor, to just being a man in society and culture and how you move with grace and intelligence, It's just been invaluable, as you can imagine, and beyond that, and just him being the kind of person he is, it's interesting how he makes you feel like you're the star, the way he talks to you, and the way he receives you and endears you as a human being, I think he's really special like that. So he's really been, like, even at times where he's not trying to impart or teach anything, he's teaching and imparting wonderful things, so. In addition to Sidney Poitier, my mentors include Bill Duke, filmmaker, Mr. Woodie King Jr., theater producer, Robert Hooks, legendary theater producer and actor, Laurence Holder, playwright, S. Pearl Sharp, poet, actress, cultural activist. Who else? Michelle Matera in New York, creatively speaking. Dr. Barbara Emerson down in Atlanta. The list goes on and on. It's a cross-section of people. Peter Markham at AFI, Jimmy Bride at AFI. A lot of folks, man. A lot of folks. I've been knowing John for a few years now. Me and John got connected by way of my manager and her producing partner. The manager is Gail Levin. Her partner is Michelle Manning. She produced quite a few projects with and for John, Shaft, and I think stuff before Baby Boy. I can't recall what films exactly, but they had saw a script I'd written, a pilot script, and she said, "Wow, I think that you would connect well with John." So they let him read the script, and they called me on a conference call. It's like, "Yo, we got John on the line. I want to talk to you." I'm like, "All right, let's talk." So. We jumped on the phone. He was like, "Hey, can you come have breakfast?" I was like, "For sure, let's go have breakfast." And when he met me, he told me he thinks I'm his new best friend, based on the materials. I was like, "I'll be your best friend," and the rest kind of snowballed from there. You know, been really tight. I've been really involved behind the scenes in terms of the Tupac project, developing that, and being a sounding board, which has been like crazy, a crazy blessing. And then us developing stuff aside from, you know, the TV pilot, which we're still doing work on, in my first feature, As a Freak Takes You. I'm coming on board as an EP. Always swapping ideas, sharing ideas, man. You know, I mean, that's one cat who stays in the work. He's always writing. I mean, you know, he's a writer first, so he's always writing stuff and sharing. You know, bouncing things off of me and vice versa, and bouncing things off him. So. It's happening. At some point, it's gonna happen. I can't tell you this though. John's work on the script that I read is epic. It's more. I can't say a lot, but it's more than just about a rapper. It's really epic. I mean, it's after reading it, it gave me a headache. Seriously, it's that massive. It's that much going on, and you know, I can't talk about it. Projects I'm working on now. Current projects, they include this piece called As the Freak Takes You, something I'm doing a crowdfund campaign for right now on Indiegogo. It's about a woman and her 3 lovers, and them being a biracial lesbian, a bisexual white man, and a celibate black man, and all of them exploring the intersection of sexuality and spirituality. Working on this other piece with John that's called Solomon, TV series. Working on this feature film with Omari Hardwick playing the lead. You know, he's in Power right now. Stars, right? It's this piece called Dianormous. It's basically a modern urban remix of Apocalypse Now, inspired by Asada Shakur. And always writing, man, always developing more stuff. You know, kind of stay in the lab with it. If I have any advice for, I guess, emerging talents coming up, directors, writers, actors, I would say be independent until you're privileged not to be, and still maintain your independence. I would say do not wait for anybody to do for you what you can do for yourself. I would say master your craft, know it inside out, because that's the one thing you control. You can't control the money. You can't control who likes you, who don't like you, but you can control the level of respect somebody gives you based on what you know and based on the investment you made in yourself to date. And I would say plan on being relentless as possible, knowing that there's a lot of rejection in the game. In fact, you want to become impervious to rejection to the point where it's like rain, you know. Doesn't even affect you, and that's a huge part of it. You know, some folks get discouraged by being told no, and I think what helps is having a solid resolve that, hey, I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's just that. And also, personal preference is always being saying something. Find some kind of connection to culture where you're expanding the dialogue, developing the dialogue. You're pushing people to say more than what's on the surface. And ideally, you're suggesting ideas of what could be the answers, opposed to just, you know, proselytizing and trying to convert people, you know, or just getting your ego rock off, you know. Be about that work, basically. Be about that work. Online, you can find me, my website is karamu.com, that's KARAMUU.com. Same spelling on Instagram, @Karamu, KARAM, as in mother, UU. Same on, Twitter. And then Facebook is just Karamu Kush. You just keyword my name, KARAMUU. Last name is KUSH.